Upset victory in the South Carolina primary. Newt Gingrich appeared to be on a roll going into Florida's vote next week, but he seems to have hit a pothole, and it's fair game today. Take a look at this. A new American Research Group poll shows Mitt Romney being favored by 41% of likely Florida primary voters. Gingrich second with 34%. Rick Santorum, Ron Paul trail with single digits. It was taken Monday and Tuesday, half before and half after Monday's debate in Tampa. Joining me now, CNN political analyst Roland Martin and CNN contributor Will Cain. Welcome to you both. Will, let me start with you on this one. What do you make of this new poll? Is it a setback for Gingrich, do you think?
Well, as much as I'd like to be dismissive of polls, and I'd like nothing more than to dismiss the numbers that come out every other day, they've been pretty indicative in New Hampshire and South Carolina and Iowa. So I would say this is a red flag for Gingrich. And although you said, Randy, that poll was taken, half before and half after that debate, we know how important debates have been. So maybe Romney landed some punches on Monday night. Maybe he's scoring a few points. So keep it up. Roland, what do you think?
No, this is not a red flag. At some point, I think people are going to have to understand that you have state-by-state elections. And so we can't just somehow think that what happens in Iowa is going to repeat itself in New Hampshire, and what happens in New Hampshire will repeat itself in South Carolina. There's a whole different thing, a whole different metric going on here. Florida, much larger state, different kind of appeal when you talk about the southern part of the state, central Florida, and northern Florida as well. And so, look, let's stop looking at one state as being the same as all the rest of them.
If you look at the polls, obviously there's a lot. They come out every day. But another new poll shows Gingrich really in a virtual tie with Mitt Romney. And it seems as though the White House is really still focusing on Romney as the eventual nominee. Listen to the president last night.
Anyone who tells you that America is in decline or that our influence has waned doesn't know what they're talking about.
So Obama doesn't mention Romney by name, but Will, do you think that maybe they're underestimating Gingrich in this case as well?
I do. So listen, I think some of the biggest fools over the past 6 months have been the guys that are going on ESPN and every other channel saying to you that Tim Tebow can't win games. What are you talking about Tim Tebow, Will? I'm wearing out another Tim Tebow metaphor. Nothing about Tim Tebow added up. Nothing added up, but he kept winning. This is Newt Gingrich. Nothing adds up. He's not the most conservative guy in the field. His record reflects that. He's not anti-establishment. Despite conservatives saying they want anti-establishment, that cannot be Newt Gingrich. He's not the most electable. By no rational analysis do you land at Newt Gingrich. However, he keeps winning. He won in South Carolina. He polls well in Florida. Hold on, Roland.
Please.
When your predictor mechanism wheels fly off, quit predicting. So don't underestimate Newt Gingrich.
Let me help you with something, Texas Longhorn and Dallas Cowboys fan. When you've only won one race, you can't say he keeps winning. He did horrible in Iowa, didn't win New Hampshire. He won South Carolina. So how can we say he keeps winning? Now, if he wins Florida, if he wins other states, we can make that kind of comment. So he only won one state. This is what I'm talking about, Randi Kaye. You win one state and people go, oh my goodness, the world has changed. The bottom line is this here. You put the sure money on who they think the nominee is going to be, and that is Mitt Romney. If it changes, then all of a sudden they'll change their tactics.
So just so I'm clear, you're saying
it's easy to attack Newt Gingrich.
So just so I'm clear, though, your argument is that Newt Gingrich should be underestimated.
No, what I'm saying is you said Gingrich keeps winning with your Tim Tebow.
All I said, Roland, was don't underestimate him.
All right, guys,
all I said is don't underestimate him.
He won one state. That's it.
Let's move on, okay?
Just one.
Roland, I still hear you in my ear. There is one prominent Democrat who is certainly confident that Gingrich will not be the GOP nominee. Listen to this.
He's not going to be president of the United States. That's not going to happen. Let me just make my prediction and stand by it. It isn't going to happen.
Why are you so sure?
There's something I know. The Republicans, if they choose to nominate him, that's their prerogative. I don't even think that's going to happen.
Sounds awfully mysterious, doesn't it, Will?
Listen, I don't want to give him credit because he just misconstrued my entire last answer, wherein I said just don't underestimate the man who just won a state. But I'm now going to give Roland Martin credit that I heard him on morning television today say,
of course you will.
All Nancy Pelosi saying is she talks to Republicans. She's in Washington, D.C. She doesn't just talk to Democrats. And those Republicans are telling her he's not going to be the nominee.
Look,
Roland.
Randy, you need 1,144 delegates to win the nomination. Look, people are saying that if one candidate doesn't get those delegates, it goes to the convention. And trust me, the Republican Party knows that if Newt Gingrich is their nominee, they are going to go down faster, and that ship captained by that Italian guy. It ain't gonna happen. The guy is absolute kryptonite to winning because, again, he's gonna say something crazy. They're like, let's get away from Newt Gingrich as far as possible. So he can keep yelling and screaming and attacking the media, but trust me, ain't gonna be the nominee.
And
Randy,
Gingrich was talking. Yeah, okay, go on, real quick.
I just want to say, if Nancy Pelosi did have a deep, dark secret that she could reveal about Newt Gingrich that would deny him the nomination, let me assure you one thing, she'd never let it out. She wants him to be the nominee.
Of course she does.
Okay, Gingrich, of course, you said he's been talking to the media. He did respond to the claims by Nancy Pelosi earlier today on the Today Show. Listen to this.
Is there anything that Nancy Pelosi knows that would stop you from being president of the United States, Newt Gingrich?
Who knows? I mean, she lives in a San Francisco environment of very strange fantasies and very strange understandings of reality. I have no idea what's in Nancy Pelosi's head.
Roland, what do you make of that response?
Well, after listening to Marianne Gingrich talk about Newt asking about open marriage, I wonder what kind of fantasies Newt loves to think about. So he can keep trying to bring up, because that was his way of saying, oh, she's that West Coast liberal. Trust me, she's one of the smartest politicians, regardless of party in Washington, D.C. And so, Newt, you know very well, Nancy Pelosi knows you're not going to be the nominee.
Will, 10 seconds, then we got to go.
I would say Newt should have known better to invoke the words fantasy and strange the week after he talked about open marriage.
Good point. Very good point.
Oh, let's play a Dina Howard's Freak Like Me if we want to play some music.
That was great fun, you guys.